Mexico's line in history, freedom without compromise. Long before the Civil War, Mexico drew a line not just on a map, but in history. In 1829, Mexico abolished slavery across its entire territory. It was a sweeping declaration, one that placed human dignity above economic interest and political convenience, but Mexico didn't stop there. When the United States pressured Mexico in the 1850s to return escaped slaves under a fugitive slave treaty, Mexico refused. Their stance was simple: the moment an enslaved person touches Mexican soil, they are free. No deals, no diplomacy, just freedom. Abolition. In 1829, Mexico's abolition of slavery came under President Vicente Guerrero, himself of Afro-Indigenous descent. Guerrero understood the weight of bondage not as an abstract policy, but as a lived reality. His decree ended slavery across the nation, making Mexico one of the earliest countries in the Americas to take such a decisive step. This act was not merely symbolic, it reshaped Mexico's identity, aligning the nation with principles of equality and justice at a time when much of the world still clung to chains. Defiance against pressure. The United States, deeply divided over slavery, sought to enforce fugitive slave treaties that required neighboring countries to return escaped enslaved people. Mexico's refusal was a bold act of defiance. It rejected the idea that human beings could be property, and it refused to compromise its values for diplomatic convenience. This stance made Mexico a beacon of hope for those fleeing bondage in the American South. Crossing into Mexican territory meant not just escape, but permanence. Unlike the northern states of the U.S., where the Fugitive Slave Act threatened freedom even after arrival, Mexico offered true sanctuary, a final destination for many enslaved people. Mexico was not just another country, it was the final destination. The Rio Grande became more than a river, it was a threshold. On one side, bondage; on the other, freedom. Stories spread of Mexico's promise, and countless individuals risked everything to cross that line. Communities of freed people began to form in northern Mexico, blending cultures and histories. These settlements were living proof of Mexico's commitment to liberty, a world still in chains. In the mid-19th century, slavery remained entrenched across much of the globe. The cotton fields of the American South, the plantations of the Caribbean, and the colonial economies of Europe all depended on forced labor. Against this backdrop, Mexico's abolition was radical. It was a declaration that humanity mattered more than profit, that justice mattered more than treaties. Mexico dared to break the chains while others still tightened them. Legacy of freedom. Mexico's stance resonates today as a reminder of moral courage. It shows that nations can choose principle over pressure, humanity over politics, by refusing to return escaped slaves. Mexico not only protected individuals, but also set a precedent for international resistance to injustice. This legacy continues to inspire. It reminds us that freedom is not always granted by consensus, it is often won by defiance.